Hi everyone, this is Samantha here at the Musicologist Yogi. I'm here in my music studio, Stellar Music Space. It's about quarter till 8 p.m. And I've had a long day. I was teaching here in my music studio this morning and also this afternoon. And then I did some grading for a class in music history, Baroque and classical music that I'm teaching at NYU, grading first assignment, written assignments. And then I went to a yoga class at a nearby yoga studio. And I haven't had a whole lot of time to put together videos for all of you, so I'm really sorry about that. I know some of you are following me. And I really want to be able to do that in the future, but I'm making yoga videos for academics, and I'm also an academic, so I'm really busy with a lot of projects during the semester. But I did want to at least talk for a little bit. I felt inspired at this yoga class. And one of the things that I try to do with my yoga practice and with my yoga studio, Stellar Yoga Space, and my personal practice and also with private clients is to make yoga more accessible. It's a real passion of mine. As a disabled woman and as someone who is a scholar of disability studies in music and is also a disability rights activist, I really like to demystify yoga and demystify and challenge the assumption that you have to be a certain level of healthy to practice yoga. And I think it's really important to share that message, especially today. Especially right now as Congress is considering legislation to roll back the Americans with Disabilities Act, which, not roll back entirely, sorry, but to roll back certain provisions on it that will, I think, from my understanding as a disabled woman and also my understanding of disability practice, will really complicate and possibly prove tragic for a lot of disabled Americans. So I've been meditating about that a lot today, and it's been really affecting me. And I went to this yoga class, and it was a wonderful class. I want to say that first. It was a really wonderful class. I really enjoyed it. But as we were sitting up and we were closing our meditation at the end of the class after Shavasana, we're sitting in Sukhasana, easy pose. And the teacher said something, and it could be because I'm a disability rights activist and because I'm particularly sensitive about this right now. But it kind of threw me a little bit. I was a little miffed when I left. And what she said was something like, be grateful that you are healthy enough to come to yoga tonight. And I just want everyone to know that you are always healthy enough to come to yoga, okay? Yoga is not about going to a class. Yoga is not about even getting on a mat. Yoga is a full practice, okay? And my real passion as a yoga teacher, as a yoga practitioner, is to encourage everybody can do yoga. Everybody. You do not need to be flexible. You do not need to be healthy. You do not even need to be able to walk. Okay, and I know that's kind of a political thing to say. I don't mean to call out people specifically, but I'm saying that everyone can do yoga because yoga is a personal practice. You start from where you are. You don't have to be healthy. You don't have to be healthy. So you don't need to feel bad if you're not healthy, if you're struggling, if you are dealing with chronic pain, which is something I deal with. If you have broken a bone, if you are not an able-bodied person and you don't have use of your legs or your arms or whatever, you can still practice yoga. And so yoga starts on your mat from where you are. Everyone can do it. It can be a meditation. And the best yoga is something that doesn't end when you're on the mat. It's something that goes throughout your life. I was really transformed a lot, and I found some of the incongruencies, the cognitive dissonance I have as a disability rights activist and disability scholar, disabled woman, and the yoga world, which is this cultivation, this fetishization of health, that sometimes, frankly, I think marginalizes and puts down people and judges people, shames them for not being healthy. There, I said it. It bothers me. But one thing that really helped me, and I was really, I'm going to say inspired. I know that's also controversial. I'm going to say I was inspired. Not in inspiration porn sort of way, but I was really inspired by a book that I read by a yogi called Matthew Sanford. He's a yoga teacher, and he's based in Minnesota, I believe, or Wisconsin. Sorry for the people in the Midwest. One of those states. And he became a yoga teacher after he was a paraplegic, because yoga, after going through this horrific accident where he lost most of his family members, he almost lost his life. He was paralyzed. He found his way back to his body through the practice of yoga, and now he lives and works as a yoga teacher and travels around the country, around the world speaking. And I was really inspired by something he said, which was, and something he wrote about in his book as well, which was that connecting to your body makes you more compassionate, and that everyone can connect to their bodies, no matter what state their body is in, no matter their weight, no matter their ability or lack of thereof of ability, that everyone can connect to their body. And you can connect to your body. I can connect to my body, even when I'm racked in pain, which I have been a lot lately. But our bodies are always there for us. And the more we connect to our bodies, the more compassionate we become, the more aware we become of ourselves, and by extension, the whole world. And if you can do that, if you can connect your body, which everyone can, everyone can if they want to, if that's something they're interested in, then you do yoga. That's yoga. And if yoga is not going to a yoga studio, and I own a yoga studio. I'd love people to go to my studio. But if yoga is not going to yoga studio for you, if yoga is practicing at home on a towel that you roll out onto the floor because you don't even own a yoga mat, that is yoga. And that is wonderful. And that's how you start. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to not be in pain every single day. I would love to not feel ridiculous amounts of pain every single day of my life, and to not have to mediate my daily interactions through the pain that I'm suffering. And I say suffer because I would actually like to not have it. But you know what? It's okay. It's part of who I am. Certainly it has been my entire life. I'm assuming it will continue to be so. To an extent, it is part of my identity. And if I can't make it to a yoga studio, I can still practice yoga, and I don't need to be healthy enough. So I'm grateful I went to that class tonight, and I hope that I'm not that type of person to go up and talk to a teacher afterwards if they say or do something, whatever. But I felt like I could at least speak to my audience and maybe speak to people who are struggling with feeling inadequate or like they're not good enough to practice yoga, because I don't want anyone to feel that way. And I want you to know that you're always healthy enough to practice yoga. And I am grateful for the love and compassion others have shown me, and I hope that I can continue to show others. Namaste.